What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Sonic 3D Blast. We're on our final episode now. Moving on into Volcano Valley. I have sort of an epic sounding background track for this one. And things are going to start to amp up a little bit in terms of difficulty. Although, honestly, the ice stage was pretty difficult as well. This one's just a little bit different. Because obviously there is lava everywhere. So I hope you're noticing now the enemy AI, or more accurate probably just to call it enemy patterns. Very similar, or identical, to ones that we've already seen. Just with sort of reskinned or resprited enemies. I guess that's not that big a deal, but definitely noticeable. Aha! Now, fortunately, getting this fire shield is going to make this whole sequence of events much easier. In fact, as soon as we find some lava, I can actually walk on it. I will give them this. I think it's kind of cool how they implemented the little warps. It makes this level a little bit different. No, I do not want that. So instead of like a big landmass, it's sort of smaller islands on top of a lake of lava, which is kind of cool. And this is one level in particular where you will really notice how much you hate the red flickies if you get hit. And they're jumping back and forth in the lava, and yeah, bad times. So my recommendation would definitely be just don't get hit. But I guess that sort of is just a recommendation that goes across the board on every level. But especially on this one. Fortunately, we are given more than one fire shield, just in case. Again, you'll notice that the lives don't count higher than 9, which is very strange. I'm not really sure what the reasoning is behind that. And actually, it occurs to me that I never tested it. I'm not sure that if I were to die now, if it would tick down to 8, or if it would stay at 9 because it's actually counting the additional lives. I don't really know. But somebody else can try that one, I guess. Mm-hmm. Another thing that's kind of funny, actually, is the way that even on the world map, it's still in an isometric perspective. So, yeah, this part's kind of scary. It is difficult to convey the momentum that you carry on that jump. But just believe me, it's not a simple jump. You really have to gauge that correctly, or you fly right into the lava, as happened to me many times during practice runs. But man, look how much easier that is with that fire shield. But anyways, what I was saying is, even the world map, like, north is actually pointing what would be sort of northeast if we were in a top-down perspective. So it's kind of funny. It's a nice touch, I guess. At the very least, it's mildly amusing. So I'll take it. So you'll actually notice that the thing that I said about the difficulty sort of ramping up here is only really true if you don't have a fire shield. And you're given, honestly, plenty of fire shields. So what I said is only half true. but I stand by it, I guess. Yeah, this part too. That part is a real nightmare if you don't have the fire shield. Because you got the stupid fire things coming out of the lava and shooting at you, and But if you do have it, you just jump through and land in the lava and don't care at all, kind of like I did. And again, I think they realized how difficult the developers, that is, realized how difficult the platforming was from this isometric perspective, and made it so that you could just jump straight over that little gap. Nope. I remember when I played this on the Genesis a long time ago. I did beat it as a kid, but I remember several times this was as far as I got before I was like, you know what, we're done. But there you have it. Alright, so now one of the worst bosses. This one is pretty tricky. So the thing is, you can be hurt by the steam, and then you've got this fire that sort of chases you. And then also, you have to sort of precisely land on the little pipes there without falling in the lava. So although it looks fairly simple, it's actually very easy to just get smacked around. But 29 seconds, not too bad. Ah, yes. Gene Gadget Zone. We got a nice little, like, kind of trance track in the background on this one, which is kind of cool. Unfortunately, this is one of the worst levels in the game, which is a little sad. It goes out of the realm of challenging and into the realm of just frustrating. There are just so many things that shoot at you, and yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure there's a pun there with the mouse, because we're like in a computer, kinda. So funny, I guess. But yeah, these stupid things, and then the fans, which throw you into the enemies, and the little electrical floors, which are kind of similar to the spike floors that we saw last time, but ironically a little bit easier to deal with. And then the mines, yeah, it's just not a good time. And then, not to keep going on about it, but then we have enemies that shoot at you placed on the top of inclines in an it's over Anakin, I have the high ground kind of way. Yeah. It's okay though, we're gonna get through it. Don't you worry. Well, we almost have 100 rings. You know what that means. That will bring me all the way to 9 lives. Oh yeah. Just sort of frantically jump around and try not to get hit. Sonic 3D Blast in a nutshell, really. Anyways, there's Act 1. I gotta say though, I do dig the background music. That was close. And this one tends to be a little bit more maze-like than the previous one. Typically you can just kind of run around and figure things out, but on this one I really had to actually plan out a route that was the most optimal. Because I'm not going for, you know, a speed run or anything, but I also don't want to be running around randomly for too long. The goal, of course, in these playthroughs is to make it as sort of smooth an experience as possible, just because that makes it a little bit more fun to watch, in my opinion. I also figured out sort of the optimal way to jump across there without having to do a ton of platforming, because, trust me, that is also not very fun. Yeah, just the entire concept of isometric platforming. Ugh. I guess I should address it, for those of you who missed the previous episodes or just happen to not know. Isometric is that sort of diagonal, halfway over the top perspective. Quite a few games use it, but it tends to work better in something like a Fallout, you know, than a Sonic game. Something that doesn't involve platforming, generally, tends to work better, but can't blame them for trying, I suppose. And I do still like this game. That's kind of mean-spirited, though, huh? Putting electric floors like that on the way up. All right. Okay, so this boss, actually not that tricky. I actually like this one quite a bit. This would be like something from Sonic Adventure, except it would be way faster, obviously. It is kind of weird how you have to keep skidding like that. Eh. Not too much else to say about this one, really. I think it's fairly straightforward, and you probably have figured out the pattern already. It does take a while, though. You can probably get 2 hits on him, but it's just probably not safe. I don't know. It actually... You might not be able to. You'll notice that the number of spikes tends to amp up. Just like in that Game Maker game, the Street Racer one, you may recall. Just me? Oh. Mm-hmm. So, now, I have an interesting idea for you. As we were playing through this game, you probably thought to yourself, hey, you know what would be kind of cool? What if there was a level where I didn't really have to go around and kill all the enemies and I could just kind of run through and not worry about the flickies as much? Well, you kind of get that here. I guess the, Activate. Activate. There we go. I guess the idea here is, as we get nearer and nearer to the factory where these things are produced, we've actually made it all the way in where the robots or badniks haven't been created yet. I guess that's what we're going for. Also, why does it have the ghost sound effect from Sonic 3? And Knuckles. We may never know. But, yeah, unfortunately, this series of acts here is sort of the worst series of levels, in fact, in the game. The next one in particular, which I guess we should worry about when we get to, is probably my least favorite level in the entire game, which is unfortunate. You hope that your levels get better rather than worse as you go on, but it's okay. Like I keep saying, I do still enjoy this game. Oh, and that's just... Come on. Especially because the invincibility takes like a second to activate, so if you just spin dash into it, you'll still get hit, and then the invincibility will activate. Ah, so mean. Well, I'm glad that the invincibility's gone now. Oh well. It's fine. Hey, that was pretty fast though, right? Okay. So now, imagine if we had a level where you just didn't have to worry about flickies at all, and you just ran through the level like a classic Sonic game. Sound awesome? It does sound awesome. It's also the worst level in the game. In fact, I'm going to try my best to speed through this as quickly as possible, avoiding all the... Do I even want that? Okay, I want it. Let's do it. Just look at all this nonsense. This is cool, though. The fact that it's a giant Robotnik, or Eggman. I do like that. In fact, if you go on... if you just Google it, you can find a sort of diagram of the entire map, and it is, in fact, just a giant Robotnik, which is pretty cool. I will give them that. Yeah, you have no idea how many times I've played this level and just been sniped by that guy at the top of the little elevator there. And then this. Why? You can probably jump around it, but then, again, you might get sniped by the little spider walker thing. Anyways, into the nose we goes. Alright, and now for probably the most difficult boss in the game. Maybe the fire one, but maybe this one. Probably this one. More recycled sound effects. This will sound familiar. Now the tricky thing about this is that you have to hit that little glowing light. And if you miss, you go a little bit too far down and hit the arm, you actually take damage. And the hitbox is a little bit screwy, so yes, there have been many times as well where that's gotten messed up, and I've gotten hit here. Alright, that wasn't so bad, huh? Oh, there's more. So now we have, once again, the homing fire, and you gotta hit the thing while it's shooting fire. But of course you have to hit it in a timely enough manner that you can get away from the fire. But if you hit it too soon, you actually take damage. So, yeah. A little bit of a balancing act. Metaphorically speaking, of course. Alright. And my least favorite one. The trick here is you're going to get these little electrical bolts that bounce everywhere. What you want to do is the quicker you hit the arm, they will stop coming. Otherwise, you'll get a ton of them and it's almost impossible to dodge. Oh, like that. Yeah. So you really got to time this one carefully if you don't want to just get knocked around. Alright. That was pretty smooth. Ooh, I almost got nailed at the end there, though. Yeah, not bad. Well, that looked like our final level, didn't it, according to the map? However, it is in fact not. Ooh, fancy floors. Funnily enough, this is actually the one level that I think looks better on the Genesis. It had sort of this star background, I believe. And also, ironically, this is a pretty easy boss. Thing is, you have to do a couple loops of this, and each part has sort of a different gimmick or attack pattern, but it's really not hard to dodge. More recycled sound effects. Mm-hmm. Now they're gonna do the, right after this, the Master Hand and Crazy Hand thing. Check it. It's okay, I've played Melee. I know how to deal with that. Is that heretical, making a Nintendo reference in a Sonic game? I guess not, because Sonic is now in Nintendo games. Also, that is by far the easiest one. What was that? Alright, the only one that's at all difficult, best way I found to deal with it is just sit in this corner, and you can easily time your jumps like so. Just take note, you see how I ran around to the front? I don't think you're going to be able to hit him from the side, so meh. Still not that big a deal. And now we just repeat. The only annoying part about this fight is that if you miss, you have to do another loop. So that's kind of annoying, but it's pretty easy, honestly. Same pattern. I think it's funny on this one, he just like randomly comes back down. He's like, alright, you dodged it. I'll give you a free hit. Alright, this one again. Remember, just take the corner here. Simple. That's a wrap. And about 750,000 points. I'm not sure at all what a good benchmark is. But, good ending. All emeralds. Look at that glorious 90s 3D rendered Sonic. Looks a little bit derpy, I will admit, but it's not so bad. Alright everybody, that was Sonic 3D Blast for the Saturn. I hope you enjoyed. I'd recommend checking it out. Even though the Genesis version is the only one that's easily available anymore. Credits? Alright. John Burton, very cool dude. Check out his YouTube channel, Game Hut. H-U-T, not H-U-T-Z. It's not that kind of hut. I mentioned it before, but a lot of interesting insights into this game and some other ones. That's about it. I hope you enjoyed this one. Like I said, check the game out for yourself. It's worth playing, at least once. And the long play version, so all the way through, no commentary, will be up next week. And then we'll move on to something new. As always, let me know what you thought. If you have any suggestions for other games, I am trying to get through all of the Sonic games, or most of the Sonic games, so I have a couple that are already recorded, and, well, if you have any suggestions for which one next, just let me know. I think that's about it. I'll leave you with the credits and this sort of ill-fitting but kind of cool song. Till next time, everybody.